Let's create smoky eyes for Ellie. I'm beginning with mixing up my China paints that I'm going to use for her. I am using eyeshadow and I'm also using Jean Nordquist German Brown. So I'm going to outline her eyes with the eyeshadow, which is a kind of a purple shade, kind of dusty rose color combination. China paints can change their colors when they're firing, so that's the reason why I want a more mauve look to her eye. I have to paint the inside of her eye as well as the shape that I want on the outside. I'm going to come in and soften it out, blend it all together. She has blending medium on her face because of the fact that I want the paint to bleed out. But I also want it to stay nice and dark, so that's the reason why I have to apply it a couple times to get it to be the tone that I wanted for the first firing. In this first firing, I'm also going to apply her eyebrows. I want this part of her head to be fairly dry as I don't want her eyebrows to bleed like a younger child in the firing. I want them to stay nice and crisp. Now, I didn't like what I had painted on the one side, so all it takes is a simple wipe and the paint is gone, making sure that I wipe the head totally off of any paint that's on there, and then I can reapply it again. Until I fire, nothing is permanent, so it's off and on until I get it exactly the way I want it for her face. Ellie has come through her first China fire. Now she's ready for her second China fire. I begin with putting medium on her head because all of these colors that I'm going to be applying the second time around, I want them to darken the colors that I put on, but I also want them to be nice and soft and blended. The medium first on her head will help do that. So again, it's going back in, touching up the colors around her eyes. Giving her eyebrows more depth by painting over them again gives them a two-tone look, even though the same color is being used because of the fact that when I go over one color, it's going to go darker versus if I go in between a stroke, it'll be lighter. So I'll give them more depth by still using the same color. This is also the firing that I'm going to be adding black around her eyes that will help give her her smoky look. I didn't want to coat the whole eye because this is still a younger kind of Wednesday Addams style eyes. So she has the dark lashes and the half dark smoky eyes. point of painting is a layer process. That's the reason why you have to fire each color to make it be a permanent color. Then you come over it again to bring out the detail. That's the reason why with the lips, I'm only going to be painting the crease between where the your upper lip and your lower lip come together, and in the corners, because I don't want her to look like she's really wearing a lipstick color as much as that she's got color to her lips. So that's the reason why you come in with a second coat, but you're only going in for just accent coloring. Since this is also going to be the final firing for this head, then this is where I'm going to be doing any shadows that I want to bring out, like in the ears, on the forehead, because if you don't paint it, you usually don't see it in porcelain. So if you want to see any depth to a head, you paint the shadows. This is the firing that she's also going to get her cheek color, or as we call it, the blushing color. You feel like they're alive. You can also paint the nostrils as well as the inner ear like I painted earlier. Now she's ready to go into the kiln for her final firing.